Hey family, you're tuning in to the Jimmy Bonds podcast on Illadelphia Radio. Pardon any technical difficulties as we are recording live on the Zoom platform. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Yeah. Jimmy. Lights, camera, action. Some people thought I quit and I ain't giving satisfaction. From a different era, writing rhymes up on napkins. What you had to say was more important, man, than traffic. Yeah, I'm talking back to speaking of contemporary. What's good, family, and welcome to another episode of Jimmy Bonds Podcast on Illadelphia Radio. We are coming live to you from Exit 6 Studios, live from our new studio in Chester, PA. This episode is sponsored by Ali Rodriguez, Public Relations. Family, I am Jimmy Bonds, your host, along with my co-host, Ty. T.Y., what's good, Ty? How you feeling?
All good in the neighborhood, Jimmy, live from the 215.
And you know, I can't forget my other co-host, the lovely Miss T with the T. She's not here with us today, but she's always here with us in spirit. And she has some questions for our guest tonight. She wanted to make sure I asked them, so I make sure I will. Anyway, family, moving right along, you can call us with your comments and questions at 844-844-1244. Again, that's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, it's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. That's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. Don't forget, family, to also follow us on Instagram at Jimmy Bonds Podcast, on Twitter at Podcast Bonds. Make sure you join the Jimmy Bonds Podcast Facebook group. Join the Facebook group. We continue to open a dialogue. Also, family, one more thing. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. Go to our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, you like, you comment, all that good stuff. Illadelphia Radio YouTube channel. Make sure you check it out. We got some great things, great music, new artists coming out, all that good stuff. Make sure you go check us out, family. Always thank you for the support. We're going to move it right along, family. Tonight, we have a great guest. Someone I was introduced to through our friend Ali Rodriguez. She has a business, family. Let me just get into something. Let me describe her a little bit for you so you can get to know who she is, family. First and foremost, family, I like to call her a fixer, a connector. She's also a healthcare professional. She's an entrepreneur. She's inspiring. She's passionate. She's a wife. She's a mom. She's a certified matchmaker, and she loves God. And believe me, she also goes by the mantra of everybody deserves to be loved and to know love. She is the founder of Love Dynasty Matchmaking dating service. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Busola. Busola, thank you for coming on the show tonight. Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me, man. When you were doing that introduction, I'm like, is that me? Yeah, that's me. So that was a great introduction. I had to look at myself like, woo, they're talking about me.
That's love
thank
right
you
there.
guys for having me. Thank you for the show of love. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to be here. And it's love season right now. So everything is love everywhere. I'm just excited. And thank you for showing me love.
Definitely. Listen, we close to Valentine's Day. So I was like, this is a perfect opportunity to have you on and talk about these things. Not necessarily talk about relationships per se, but more talk about you and your business and what you do and how you go about it. So kicking it right off. Why did you start Love Dynasty Matchmaking dating service?
So the reason why I started the Love Dynasty, because I found love with my husband. As you said, I am married, and I found love with my husband in an unconventional way. So, and I just figured, there are a lot of single people that I talk to, and they're just they've given up on love, and you hear people say, you know what, there's nobody out there for me. Love is overrated. I can't find anybody. I've tried this, I've tried that, and a lot of people have just given up on love. And I'm like, you know what? There is a lot of love out there. You just have to be able to find the right person for you. And you have to be able to have the right mindset to be able to find that love. And for me, my love story and journey started off in an unconventional way. My husband and I met on a dating website, and I am from Nigeria. That is something I had never, ever done before. I'm used to the traditional way of finding love. Maybe you meet somebody at a church or at a party or a friend of a friend or whatever. But when we met online, it was totally new to the both of us. We both had never, ever tried something like that before. I'm not even going to lie. When I first met him, I lied about myself because I was so skeptical. I lied about my name. I lied about what I did. I lied about my age just because I had that anxiety. Like, you have people tell you, look, there's some crazy people out there.
Yeah,
but I was so scared. But you know what? I had to tell myself to get outside of my normal box.
Get
I have to
outside the
step
comfort
out of my
zone.
normal box and try something new. And I was open-minded. So that's one of the reasons why I started the Love Dynasty. I want to be able to bring hope back into people's minds to let them know that, look, that love that you want, it exists and it is out there. Just like when we're looking for a job, we may go through an agency or go through a recruiter. So a matchmaker is sort of like a recruiter as well. You tell them what you want and they find it for you, but also with a little bit of coaching and leading you in the right path as well to be able to find that love that you're looking for.
I think that's a fantastic analogy for what you do, but also for really it is for finding love. It's kind of the same thing. You're going through a recruiter or somebody that has the connections to put you in the positions to meet the person that you want to meet.
Yes, sir.
Now Busola, I'm gonna tell you right now, in our family, I'm putting it out there. I am down on love these days. I am not one of these cats that's like, yeah, love. I'm done with it right now. Right now.
And it's understandable because our experiences and our journey in life, that's what shapes us, right? That's what shapes our mindset. And it's understandable because for whatever reason, your experience or whatever your story may be, you may have given up on love. But guess what? You can redeem yourself. It doesn't mean just because you didn't find love with that person, doesn't mean you cannot find love in the future or with the right person.
That's real.
It just means that person just wasn't meant for you and you weren't meant for them and you keep it moving.
Man, that's real. That's real. I mean, I ain't gonna share no extra business. I'll leave you right there. Todd, you got a question, boy? Go ahead, man. Go ahead, ask your question, boy.
Ms. Busola, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing great, Mr. Todd. How are you, sir?
I am doing well. So here's what I would like to know, and everybody else. What was it like with your first matchmaking experience? The two couples that you brought together, or the couple that you brought together. What was that like?
So before I even started doing this professionally, I'd been doing this, I was just fascinated with love, bringing two people together. So it was something that I've done even when I was younger, like in college and high school. I would just see somebody, I say, look, you're single, he's single. Come on, let's match you guys together. And they would date and all of that stuff. So, but getting certified just made me more professional about it. And I was able to gain the knowledge and to be able to understand the professional aspect of being a matchmaker. So it wasn't even after I certified, it wasn't something new to me because it's something that I've always been used to. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm very passionate about love. I'm very passionate about healthy relationship. And especially with my foundation as a Christian, that is what I preach all the time. My husband, sometimes he'll be like, babe, you need to calm down. I'm like, no, you already know this is what I'm passionate about. So it wasn't really something new to me.
So what is the certification process like? I mean, I'm not sure about it. So can you explain it to us?
So the certification process is they teach you all the rudiment of being a matchmaker, what you need to know about it and how to get your clients and pretty much how to direct your clients in the right path of finding the love. So the process was almost like a 6-month process for me going through the training. Also came with assignments that we had to do as well. And then at the end of the day, you have to put like a business plan together and your trainer or your professor has to check you off.
So your first...
It's just like going to school. I mean, it's just like going to school and getting some kind of certification program. It was the same thing. Everything requires knowledge. And even though you have that knowledge, I mean, knowledge is power and you can never stop learning.
Now, I know you do matchmaking for business people, or is that anyone?
So I do matchmaking for professionals. My niche market is mainly African professionals, but that's my main niche. But I do it for anybody that's looking for love.
Hey, Todd took my question. I was going to ask the same. Like, what was your demo? Like, who was your demographic? No, but it's okay. I appreciate it. That means we thinking the same way, Todd. We're thinking the same way. All right, now listen. This is from our co-host T. She couldn't make it tonight, but she wanted to make sure I asked you these questions.
Hi, T. How are you?
So she wanted to ask, how has the pandemic affected your line of work with dating?
So the pandemic, I wouldn't really say it has affected it, or it has affected it a little bit just because, of course, we're not able, during the pandemic, we weren't able to go out as much. We weren't able to meet in person. So it affected people going out on dates and actually meeting physically in person. So that's how I would say that it has affected them. But where there's a will, there's always a way. Just like we're having this meeting. I mean, we set up Zoom dates for people. And then when they get comfortable enough to be able to meet each other, and then we coach you through that as well, making sure that either that person is vaccinated or making sure that they haven't come in contact with people that had COVID-19, or if you are going to meet, make sure that you're following COVID-19 precautions and things like that. So that's how it has kind of affected it a little bit. But some people, in the midst of staying at home and being bored, they'll rather be on a Zoom date with someone.
And that's real. That's real. Definitely,
Yes,
people need that connection with the pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's been so isolated in so many different ways, whether it's from work, home, family. You know that you still need that connection. Let me ask you this question. I read what type of services or things that you do at the business. Tell me, what would you define in today's world as courtship?
That's a very good question. So let me say that courtship is totally different from dating.
Yeah.
Dating is relational, meaning that I'm meeting you, we're having a conversation, I am trying to get to know you, you are trying to get to know me, and we're trying to figure out if our values are aligned with each other, if our visions are aligned. Mm-hmm. Now, when you get to the point of courting, that means you have both come into an agreement after knowing each other that, you know what, we have some things in common. Our values, our lives, our journey in life, our vision aligns together. So now we can start courting. We can start being in a relationship that can potentially lead to marriage. So that, for me, is what defines courtship from dating.
I think that's a great way to kind of separate dating and courtship. You know, people don't. I remember my mom used to be like, you know, you have to court these women. I'm like, what do you mean courtship? What are you talking about? Like, what is that?
Dating doesn't equal courtship, because just because you went on a date with someone once or twice doesn't mean that we're in a relationship or we're courting each other. So, but a lot of people get that mistaken just because someone take you out on a date or because you've been talking to someone for a month or two, it automatically means that you're courting them or you're in a relationship. No, you have to define that. And that means that you both have to be in agreement and consent to being in a relationship with each other. And your values have to align.
I can definitely understand it. Go ahead, Ty.
Quick question on that. Do you think a lot of couples do it in reverse? They court each other first, and then they start to define the relationship, and that's what causes problems? I think
they do. Yeah, exactly. I think they do, because a lot of people, when you get to that point where you don't define what you want, because first of all, when you want to, like, dating, courting and dating, it's a process. You have to have the right mindset to be able to go into dating, and meaning that you have to know what you want and what you're looking for. I feel like sometimes a lot of people don't know what they really want. They don't even know themselves. They probably haven't found themselves. They haven't found their own identity. They're not comfortable with who they are before they start going out and dating. And so that's why it kind of seems like it goes in reverse, because automatically, just because you're vibing with this person or you feel like you have chemistry with this person, automatically means that you're courting. And then at the end of the day, that's where the heartbreaks come in, because one person may not be fully in 100%, and the other person may be like, oh, I thought we were courting already. And it wasn't so, because the relationship was not fully defined from the beginning. And that's why we have a lot of problems nowadays.
And yeah, we do have a lot of problems out here, don't we? People doing everything backwards. They ain't doing it the right way. They're not.
They're not.
Let me ask you this one. I have this philosophy that social media has killed relationships. It kills them. It does not assist them the way that you would think, right? So in terms of what you do for your business with Love Dynasty, has social media played a role in how you match your clients? So
I would say, in a way, yes, and in a way, no. Because social media, like I said, you have to know yourself. You have to have found yourself before you actually go out there. Because there's a difference between having a relationship versus having a healthy relationship that could lead to marriage. So it depends on what you want and your mindset and whatever it is that you're feeding yourself. If you let social media play a part in that, it's going to play a part in your relationship. But when you're grounded, when you know who who you are and you know what you want, it doesn't matter what's going on social media. You are going to be able to set those boundaries for what you want to go after and for what you want in your life. So it just depends on that, on each individual.
And I was thinking somewhat that, maybe you turn people away who are not grounded or know themselves enough to match with some of your clients. Do you ever have that issue?
I have had that issue, and because when I interview clients, from talking to them and asking them questions, because our services is about getting to know you personally. And there are some people that feel like they are ready, but in actuality, they really are not ready.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They may have convinced themselves that they're ready, but when you want a healthy relationship, you have to be able to put in the work. It takes two, and you have to be able to do what it takes to be able to sustain that relationship. So sometimes when I feel like you're really not ready and your mindset is not right, I'm sorry, the service may not be for you, because our service is geared toward marriage-minded individuals that really want a lasting relationship.
Right.
It's not for those people that want to be in a situationship.
No,
they're
right,
not really.
Right. don't go to Love Dynasty trying to be like, I'm just trying to meet some people.
Not for hookups, no, because the people, our clients and the people that comes to us, they're really serious and they want to be in that relationship. And it's just not fair for them, because if they're going to be able to put in the work and go through the process and be open-minded and be able to trust the process, then it's only fair for them to match them with someone who is able to meet them at that same level.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, Ty. And after your question, we'll take a quick break. Go ahead, Ty.
Just a quick question. Can you tell if someone is not ready for the matchmaking process?
Yes, you could definitely tell. Especially so when you're talking to somebody, that don't really know what they want. When you ask them a particular question, because again, we're all shaped by our experiences. And we go through so many things in life. However, how you've been able to overcome that challenge, what you've learned from it, and how you've grown from it is what's really going to tell if you're really ready to be in that relationship or not. Nobody's ever perfect. So you also have to be willing to grow and learn as well. There are some people that would come with I've had clients that said, I want somebody with a figure 8. I want this. But is that really what is going to sustain your relationship?
I think that's all. It's not realistic. It's just
exactly.
It's just what you think you want. I go by the saying, it's not what you want, it's what you need.
What you need. You're absolutely right.
A lot of times it's what you need that make you better.
Want, because you think you want this, but that's really not what you need.
Yeah.
Because if you have that mindset of having that healthy, long-lasting relationship, then we're going to give you what you really need. And that's where the coaching aspect comes in.
I think you're it sounds like you're a great coach. It sounds like you really sit down with your clients and really help them. I guess initially what you're really doing is kind of doing a psychotherapy kind of, analyzing them really in depth, not just surface wise. You're really talking to them to get to know what type of person they are to match them with the type of people that you think they should match with.
I mean, it's not I'm not going to choose for you.
Yeah.
But because at the end of the day, the ultimate decision lies within you.
Yeah.
So, however, we're going to coach you in the right direction.
And that's exactly what it sounds like. That's exactly what it sounds like. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come right back. Family, we are right now interviewing Miss Busola from Love Dynasty Matchmaking and Dating Service. She has given us the spew. She's telling us about her ins and outs of her business. I'm loving it. I'm digging her energy, family. So listen, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back. Remember, family, you call us with your comments and questions at 844-844-1244. Again, it's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, it's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. That's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. You'll listen to the Jimmy Bonds podcast on Illadelphia Radio. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Michael from Abu Dhabi. Listen to the Jimmy Bonds podcast on Illadelphia Radio.
Welcome back to the Jimmy Bonds podcast on Illadelphia Radio. We thank you for listening. Remember, family, you can call us at 844-844-1244. Again, it's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, it's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. That's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. And welcome back to Jimmy Bond's podcast on Illadelphia Radio. Remember, family, you can call us with your comments or questions at 844-844-1244. Again, that's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. That's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. And family, we're interviewing a beautiful soul, Miss Busola from Love, Dynasty, Matchmaking, and Dating Service. She has given us her business. She's telling us about her story, family, and it's lovely. It's dope. I think everybody should pay attention to what she's saying, because I think it's very in-depth and it's very introspective, because she's talking about how people sometimes are not ready for dating or not ready to be matched. But I'm gonna let her talk. I ain't trying to steal a thunder.
Yes.
So one question I wanted to ask you. Now, listen, you can answer this if you like, or you don't have to answer this if you like. But
okay,
we're not going to name any names whatsoever. Okay.
Okay.
What was your most proudest moment in matchmaking? Have you ever matched a situation where you like, I'm so glad I put that together?
One of my most proudest moments. So when I matched a couple, and at the end of the date, it wasn't even a physical date. Their first date was on a Zoom date. So they were on that date for 4 hours. Yes, sir. They were on that date for 4 hours.
A Zoom date for 4 hours.
On a Zoom date for 4 hours in the middle of the pandemic. And then after the first date, they decided, because after we set them up on the date, then we do like a post call with them just to see how the date went and everything. They both had great feedback about themselves, and they both decided that they wanted to, and they didn't even wait for me. They both took each other's numbers on the date. So, and then they went on a physical date. I mean, like after the first date, I was texting his like, I think she might be the one. You did an awesome job matching us together.
Yeah.
Like for me, I felt like, oh my God. I mean, like it was such a gratifying moment for me, because I was like, this is the reason why I do what I do.
Yeah.
Just to be able to bring two souls together, and for them to be able to build something and journey through this life together is so gratifying.
I mean, if you sit down and talk to somebody you just met for 4 hours, that means when you sat down and looked at them on Zoom, the first time you saw them, you were like, this looks like I'm definitely going to have a conversation. So when you had a conversation and you realized it matches, it went on for 4 hours. I mean, 4 hours, if you talk to somebody that you really dig in, 4 hours could seem like 30 minutes.
Exactly.
So
because it's like at that point, you have a connection, you have a chemistry, and it kind of feels like you've known this person for a long time. It doesn't feel like you're talking to a stranger.
Yes. And I mean,
these were the feedbacks that I got from them too. So
that's dope. That's so dope. Okay, so now I've asked you about your proudest moments. Have you had any moments where you've been like, I learned my lesson on this one?
So yeah, of course. I mean, because this is being real with any business, and because even with matchmaking, sometimes you can match two people that look so great together on paper, but what's really going to matter is that person's character when they come, how they show up when they come on that date. So I had a couple where they really liked each other. However, when she went on a date with the person, she just didn't like how he treated the waiter. She didn't like how he treated the waiter. So I can't teach you character. Right. I can't teach a person how to be. I mean, we can direct you, but at the end of the day, it's your character that is going to show forth. Being nice to people really matters.
I mean, I think character goes a long way in relationships, just period. I mean, any kind of relationship, if it's business, if it's friends, if it's, romantic, character is like number one.
Yes, because you can tell me who you are all day long. You can say this, you can speak about yourself, greatly about yourself, but you can show me better than you can tell me.
Yes.
So
yes,
it's your character and it's the actions that speaks louder than words.
Yes, I'm big on actions. I believe I don't even want to talk about it. Let me just show you. Exactly. Let me show you. Go ahead, Ty.
Ms. Busolo, you're dealing with different people from different walks of life. Again, different characters, different backgrounds. Yes, do you have do's and don'ts for your clients?
I do. So, and and especially, I think initially, so when I first started, I expected for people to be adults, because we're adults and we know what's right from wrong. But at the end of the day, you realize that some people really need to be coached, and some people really need strict rules and regulations and guidelines in place. So they'll be so they can act right. So not that we're treating you like a child, but sometimes some of those things are going to end up burning you because you're not going to find love that way. So for me, I had to sit down and re-strategize and actually put those guidelines in place that, you know what? No, as a Christian, I mean, and at the end of the day, it's your decision. But if you are dating someone, no sex, remove sex out of the way completely. Because you want to have a clarity of mind. You want to have a clear mind to be able to deal with that person, because immediately you introduce sex and you initiate sex. And that relationship, your judgment becomes clouded and you're no longer reason with the right mind. And I know some people are going to say, well, I'm saying averagely. I know some people are going to say, well, I met my husband on the first day and we had sex and we're still together. But if you put a percentage together, how many people or what's the percentage of people that really worked for? Because at the end of the day, you really need to know who you are dealing with. You really need to know if this is the person that you want. No sex until you are in a monogamous relationship with that person. Take that out of the window.
That's a tough one right there, boy. I'm
sure
sure
that's a tough one.
That's
but
the
at
one.
The end of and the reason why I said that, because I've had that happen to one of my clients. Within their I think it was either after 2 or 3 times they met, they started having sex. And I didn't even know.
Of course not.
I didn't know. And they didn't tell me this. So they talked for maybe a month and a half. And then the guy started ghosting her.
Oh man.
He was inconsistent. So initially I was like, wait, what's going on? And I would talk to the guy and the guy would tell me, yeah, we're good. We're fine. Everything is good. And I would talk to the woman and she would tell me, no, he's not picking up my calls. He's not calling me. If he tells me he's going to call me, he never calls back. And in my mind, I'm like, wait, what's going on?
Dirty.
Through coaching, that's when I found out that they had sex with each other probably on the second date. So now you get your heart broken because things are going fine. You like this person. Your heart is in it. Your body is in it. And probably your resources and your energy is already in this relationship. Mm-hmm. And now this guy is gone, especially when you guys have not defined the kind of relationship you have. Again, doing this in reverse because you're just in that dating stage. Dating stage is supposed to be relational, having conversation, finding out if you have the same shared values, finding out if this person's character is the kind of person that you want to build life with, if this is the person you want to journey through life with. But you had sex with that person without even finding all those things out.
They already dipping in the cookie jar. Already in the cookie jar.
And of course, they don't tell the matchmaker. And then I had to find out until months later. And I'm like, oh.
They left you out the loop on purpose. Now, don't tell Busola that we doing this, okay? Because if she found out, she's going to be talking about, no, we ain't going to be your clients anymore.
But that's not to say there's some relationship that happens and that, maybe they had sex on the first or second date and don't end up working. But statistically, how many of those relationships actually end up working out?
No, they don't. They don't. And
we're just being real, So
I mean that they don't work out. I mean sometimes they do, but
sometimes, but it's a very low percentage of
probably like
those
3% out of all of them.
Out of all of them, exactly.
And let me you mentioned a word when you were telling that story about ghosting. That's like the new. It's not even a new thing because it's I'm gonna say ghosting is maybe about 4 years old. Everyone talks about ghosting. I mean, it's been happening forever. They finally get a name to it, right? Did you know there's a thing called cockroaching now too? Did you hear about that?
Cockroaching?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. I'm learning something new tonight. So
cockroaching pretty much is when you're dating somebody and you don't know a lot about them or you're dealing with or whatever, but like you turn on the lights and all the cockroaches come out.
Yes.
So cockroaching is pretty much you finding out more that this person has other lovers other than you. So therefore, people are being cockroached on a regular basis. People are being ghosted on a regular basis.
But guess what though? It's not that person that's cockroaching you's fault. It's your fault because you put yourself in that kind of situation. And that's why I said earlier that people really need to understand the difference between dating and courting.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. People don't want to court though. People don't want to take the time to do it.
If you don't want to court that, and that's why you have to know yourself. You have to have your non-negotiables because at the end of the day, from the beginning, we see these things. Mm-hmm. We see those inconsistencies. We see those lies. We see those unfaithfulness. We see the times that he said he's going to call and he doesn't call. We see the time that he said, oh, he's somewhere or he shows up late or this. And sometimes you have to put yourself first.
Yeah, for sure.
And stop making excuses for that other person. So if you already know what you want and know your non-negotiables, these are things that I'm not going to compromise on, especially if you want that healthy relationship.
Now, let me ask you this question. You said you met your husband in an unconventional manner.
Yes.
From meeting your husband, did you feel like, well, I'll put it this way, from the experience you had meeting your husband, was it like one of those things where you wanted everyone to feel this kind of same type of love that you have or same type of relationship rather? Or was it more just like this was something you always wanted to do?
So it was more like I want people to step out of their box and try something new when it comes to dating.
You did say that.
Because
yeah.
I took a chance, not knowing where it would lead me, not knowing how it was going to end, but I just took a chance. And when I met my husband, he was not the first person I met. I met another person and I didn't even go for my husband. I went with somebody else.
You went with the other person. Well,
I went with the other person. The other person was my first choice.
Was it looks? Was it looks, Busola? Was it?
It wasn't even about looks. It was just because. So when my husband and I met, like I said, I lied about my age. I lied about my name. I gave him a totally different name. And I just told a lot about who I was. But it wasn't really about looks. And then my husband at that time, he had just come into the country from Nigeria. And I was just a little skeptical. I'm like, I don't even know if I really want to do this. But the other person, you know what the deal breaker was?
What was that?
I went on that date with that first person. And the whole entire date, this guy talked about himself.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, he one of those.
He talked about himself the whole entire time.
He's one of those.
Even though I had not given my husband a chance, but he wanted to get to know me, more about me. He was asking me questions and things like that. And he was consistent.
Consistency is a very important factor.
He was consistent and he was a man of his word. Yeah. Like when he took my number, he said, look, I just want us to take this off of this line. I'm not going to call you until you ask me to call you.
Word. That's the character.
Until you're comfortable to talk to me on the phone. So we used to text and he would text me. One day I called him myself. I was like, look, I'm done with this chatting things. Let's just talk on the phone.
Yeah, taking the next step, right?
Then, my husband, if he told me, look, I'm going to call you back, he will call me back. If he didn't call me back, the next time we spoke, he would give me the reason why he did not call me. He would say, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't call you because of this or whatever. He communicated every step of the way. If someone called him and we were on the phone and he put me on hold, when he came back, he would tell me, oh, I'm sorry, this is the person that called me. So I didn't have to second guess. I didn't have to guess who you talking to on the phone. Where you been? Who's talking to? I didn't have to guess any of that because he communicated every step of the way.
And that gave you a sense of security. Am I right?
That gave me a sense of security, and it was easy for me to reciprocate that back to him.
Yeah, definitely.
Like before meeting him, I was someone that I didn't feel like I have to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I didn't feel like I had to be answerable to anybody.
Yeah,
like
I
like I just get up and go. I don't have to tell you where I'm going.
Yeah.
But he had to, there was a lot of things that he taught me based on, like I just had to, based on him leading by example.
No doubt. See, you see that's how we got lead by example, bro.
Yeah. So that's really what people want. Like, it's not about what you say. It's really about what you do. It's about your actions.
Actions speak louder than words, as they do. Yes, they do. Ty, I know you got another question, man. After your question, we'll take a quick break. But go ahead, bro.
Yes. So the question.
Yes, sir.
Being as though you're firstborn, do you see any challenges with matchmaking men that are, I guess, coming over from Nigeria as opposed to the men that are already here?
Yes, absolutely. Just because a lot of women are skeptical as well. And with anyone, a lot of women are skeptical with men that are coming from Nigeria or anywhere else, whether you're coming from Nigeria or it's not only just about Nigerians, it's about anywhere else in the world as well, because they're a little skeptical about, we don't know if you're married or you got kids or something like that, or if we don't know how open and honest you really are about who you are. So, but versus somebody that lives here, we have a little bit of jurisdiction for someone that lives in America, because with our services, we also do background checks. I can't do a background check of someone that is out of the country, so that alone, if someone is here, kind of alleviates a little bit of their fear, knowing that we can do background checks on our clients and people that we are matching. But for someone coming from Nigeria, that fear, that anxiety is there about if they really are being truthful about who they are.
I mean, that's a good question, because I was thinking the same thing. I mean, them background checks are key nowadays, so you never know what you're getting, boy. You could be getting somebody. What you say?
Background checks too. You got to check their credit score.
And you also have to check the other family members too. You can find out some things from other family members too.
Other family members. And so that's why even when we match you, at the end of the day, you still have to do your own due diligence to make sure that this is the person that you want to be with.
I'm always thinking that's important. I wish I could do background checks on some of these women I dated, Ty. I should have did it, bro. I should have did it. I don't know why I did. I should have did it.
but you know what? It's in a way. I'll tell you a story. Talking about credit scores and credit checks and stuff. Sometimes some of your weakness, it's not even about your weakness. It's about how do you learn from it and how do you grow. Because I remember when I met my husband, we were just talking about our family dynamics, what kind of family we wanted to raise, how we wanted to raise our family. We talked about a lot of things. And I remember one day he asked me about my credit score, and my credit score was bad. It wasn't like bad, but it wasn't good. So because I was ashamed of that, I really didn't want to tell him. He was like, just tell me. I mean, what is it? And my husband is like, he comes from a finance background. So he's very proficient in that department. So he was like, just tell me what your credit score is. And I was like, so I kind of said it, even in annoyance, because I was like, why are you asking me about my credit score? But guess what? He has been a blessing because he's helped me become a better person. Yeah. He's helped me build my credit score. He's like, no, you can't be with me and have a bad credit score. We're going to have to do something about it. So sometimes those things that are your weakness, sometimes if your partner is really for you, it can turn it into positivity for you and help you become a better person. So don't ever be afraid of being vulnerable with somebody. Part of building a healthy relationship is being vulnerable.
I think that was the key word that you said just now, vulnerability. People do not like being vulnerable. We do not like exposing things about us that make us uncomfortable for ourselves.
Yes.
So that being vulnerable is, and even as men, I'm laughing because I can hear my wife just yelling at me, being like, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable.
It is, because vulnerability builds trust.
Yeah, exactly. And when you're not vulnerable,
you can't trust.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Trust. So you have to be vulnerable. You have to be open, and you shouldn't be with someone that you can't trust.
That's real. You shouldn't be with anybody you can't trust. I mean, family members, friends, or nothing. You shouldn't be with them. Just around them in any vicinity. You can't trust them. Don't be with them.
You can't trust them. You can't be with them. I mean, there's some family members. They're your family. There's nothing you can do with you can't do nothing about them. You can't defamily them. You can't denounce them. But you can deal with them from arm's length. You stay in your lane. I'm staying in my lane.
You stay over there, right?
I'll stay over there. Well, you can deal with them from arm's length, but someone that you want to build life with, someone that you want to be with for the rest of your life and go through this journey of life with, you got to be able to trust them.
Yeah, trust is key. Trust is very key. Well, listen, fam, we're going to take a quick break because Busola's over here dropping some knowledge, dropping some bars, as I would say, dropping bars over here. Well, fam, we're going to take a quick break. Remember, you can call us with your comments and questions at 844-844-1244. Again, that's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, it's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. It's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. You'll listen to the Jimmy Bonds podcast on Illadelphia Radio. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Megan from Abu Dhabi. Listen to Jimmy Bonds podcast on Illadelphia Radio.
Is it on? I said, is the mic on? It is. Okay, all right, yeah. This is Reverend CC Chicken Wing, and I love listening to the Jimmy Bonds podcast. Insightful, thoughtful words that uplift the people and bring up knowledge to the people. That's the brother Jimmy Bonds right there. You can reach out to the brother too at the Jimmy Bonds podcast at gmail.com. This is Reverend CC Chicken Wing. Is the mic still on? Is it on? Okay.
Welcome back to the Jimmy Bonds podcast on Illadelphia Radio. We thank you for listening. Remember, family, you can call us at 844-844-1244. Again, it's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, it's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. That's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. And welcome back to Jimmy Bonds podcast on Illadelphia Radio. Remember, family, you can call us with your comments or questions at 844-844-1244. Again, that's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, it's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. That's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. And family, again, we're interviewing our sister Busola all the way from Houston, Texas. She is the founder of Love Dynasty Matchmaking dating service. And during the break, of course, family, we get into these conversations during the break, but she was dropping some knowledge. I told her something about myself, and she decided to, drop some knowledge. So I'm just going to kind of rewind the conversation a little bit. I was talking about being vulnerable and how I wasn't vulnerable within my marriage, and that kind of was part of the downfall. What were you expressing, and what was your response to me saying that?
So what I was saying is there's a passage in the Bible that says that be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. We constantly, for you to have a healthy relationship, whether with your spouse, whether with your family, we constantly have to renew our minds. And renewing our minds, meaning that we have to unlearn some of the things that we've learned from when we were young. How many times have you heard maybe your father or somebody would have told you that, you can't be too open with women. You can't trust men too much. You can't do this. In order for you to build a healthy relationship, you have to start unlearning that and start renewing your mind with new knowledge. If you got to research, if you got to surround yourself with great examples of what you're trying to become, that's part of renewing your mind. That's part of renewing it because you want to do better. You can't mirror your life based on those bad examples. Yeah. We have to shift our mind and start renewing our minds to be better within ourselves. Yeah. So that's what I was saying.
See, again, she's dropping bars, family, as you can see. So renewing your mind, I'm digging that. I'm not ready to be renewed yet. I got to get rid of some things.
Because it's from you renewing your mind that transformation comes in. Because when you start renewing your mind, then you're transformed. You become a new person. You no longer do what you were doing before. You're now doing something better or, better than what you were before. You're now a new person. Yeah. Yeah. So, and especially in the African American community or in the Black community where marriages are not sustaining anymore, people are divorcing, it's because of some of the things we've heard from back in the days of how people did marriage back then. You can't trust, you can't do this, you can't do that. But until you get to that point where you start renewing your mind and say, look, I want to be better. I want a better I want to be a better person. I want a better life for myself. I want a better marriage. I want a healthy marriage. That's when you can actually be transformed.
I'm gonna take that advice, Busola.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna take that advice, and I'm probably thinking in my head.
And I'm taking it too because nobody's perfect. I'm constantly learning every day. So,
and I'm glad you said that nobody's perfect, because sometimes we get in relationships, people want you to be perfect.
No,
you know? And it's like, no, nobody's perfect. Everyone makes mistakes, or everyone is imperfect in their own kind of way, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, boy, you over here, Ty. You see me tongue tied over here, like I'm just like,
I see you, yes.
I'm like, yo, man, this is what it is, But go ahead, Ty. Go ahead. You had a question. Go ahead.
Yes. So I mean, you touched on a few things there, and one of the things I feel as though is that there's a science to a number of things, like economics. There's a science to economics. I feel as though there's a science to relationships.
Yes,
Do you feel as though there's a science to relationships that a lot of us are not taught about, but through your matchmaking, you're actually giving some of that science or information to people?
So one of the things that I have learned recently that I'm also incorporating, and I will also like to incorporate with some of my clients as well, is, the frontal lobe of our brain, the frontal part of our brain, which is responsible for effective reasoning. It doesn't start developing or doesn't come to fully develop until an average age of 24 to 26. So if you kind of think about it and just kind of think about your life as when you were like 21, or from 21 to the age of 24 or 25 till now, some of the things that you wanted in a woman or in a relationship at that time is now totally different from what you want now. Yeah. Because at that time, the frontal part of our lobes that is responsible for effective reasoning and rationalizing has not fully developed. And that's why you see some people that probably got married early, and I'm not saying all of it. There's some people that got married early and their marriage is blossoming and there's bliss and they're doing fine. But there are a high number of people that probably got married, and then 5 years down the line, what they want then is now different from what they wanted when they got married. Now they've been able to fully come into who they are. They've now realized their identity and the direction they want their life to go. So now their goals and their vision is now different from their spouse's vision. So I think it's very important for people to know that when we are at that age, what we really need to be doing is finding ourselves, developing ourselves, acquiring skills, so that when we do get to that point where that frontal part of our brain is fully developed and we know who we really are, then we have clarity. We have a moment of clarity to be actually able to decide, okay, this is what I want. This is the kind of guy that I want. This is the kind of woman that I want. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It does. Yes. So the other thing would be, do you feel as though women look into relationships based on security? Like they're looking for security when it comes to a relationship?
Of course, because for a lot of women, of course, you want to be in a relationship where you feel secured. Now, security comes in different forms of ways. Some people go into a relationship for financial security, emotional security, or whatever. So which aspect are you talking about? Are you talking about the financial security aspect? Or,
I mean, I guess it would be, again, there's several of them. So yes. How do you pinpoint, even as a woman, how do you pinpoint that security that you're looking for in a man, and if he can provide that for you or not?
So one thing we always have to understand is what you don't have, you can't get. And you have to, first of all, be secured within you, within yourself. If you're broken, you have to heal. You have to be secured within you. And that comes to finding yourself and being comfortable with who you are before you can put that expectation on someone else.
I was going to ask you, do you have a podcast?
No, sir, I do not have a podcast.
No? Okay. All right, then. All right.
Are you trying to tell me something?
I'm just saying, I'm just saying, sir. Illadelphia Radio, Jimmy Bonds, you might fit in pretty well there. I'm just saying.
No, I do not have a podcast though, okay. But So, but for a woman, for anybody, even as a man or as a woman, you have to be secured with who you are first. Even as children of God, we have to know who we are in God and stand within our own authority, knowing fully our identity before you can put that expectation on someone else. Of course, you want to be with someone that you feel secured and someone that you feel can lead you, someone that you can build life with. That person no one can make you whole. You have to make yourself whole.
Yeah, I mean that's that old thing. Know thyself, as they would say. Yeah. Yeah. No, but he right. You should start a podcast, Busola. I don't know if you ever thought about it. He right. I mean, we're always a good place for you to come. You can always think about it, but I'm just saying, like, you have the way you breaking stuff down and the way that you're talking about it. I think people will benefit a lot from your insight and from your experience.
Glory to God. Glory to God.
So just think about it. Just something. Just think about it. It ain't got to be this year. Ain't got to be next year. But just think about it, because I think definitely you would be really good at it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I definitely will put that into consideration.
So let me ask you this question. So first, we're gonna talk about this. What do you love about matchmaking?
I love being able to bring two total strangers together, and they can build a life together. A life that's not perfect, because you're never going to be perfect. You're not perfect. You're never going to have a perfect marriage. But a life that they can both show up every day knowing that I have chosen this person to walk the journey of life with, and I'm going to be committed to this person. Just bringing back hope into the hearts of people that love exists, and you can have that love that you want. You can have that healthy marriage that you want.
Yeah.
That's what I love most about it. Because a lot of people have given up and, love don't exist. You can't find this, but you really, really can.
I mean,
love is sweet, man. Love and marriage can be sweet when you are with the right person.
You gotta be with the right person in the right time. You gotta be with the right person. You gotta be with the right person.
Marriage can really be sweet. It ain't gonna be sweet all the time.
No.
It ain't gonna be perfect all the time.
No.
But it can really be sweet. Like you don't have to.
My philosophy is every morning I wake up, I just want to make sure I look at you and I know I made the right decision.
Yeah,
like that's my sense of that's my way.
Even on the day that you're pissed off at them as hell,
I still know I made the right decision. Right?
I would still exactly with my husband. He got on my nerves sometimes, but there's nobody I would rather do this life with than him.
That's amen. Amen to that. Amen to that. So you tell me what you love about matchmaking. What do you despise about matchmaking?
What I despise about matchmaking is people that are not really serious.
I can understand that.
They don't come correct. Some people say, yeah, I want a relationship, but they're not really serious. They're not really ready.
I can definitely understand that.
And there's some people out there that really want to toil with people's emotions and people's feelings. And nah, I'm not about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bunch of them out there that do that, and I'm glad. But you find you have within your science or your keys. This is the way you kind of weed all that out.
Yes,
like exactly. we're not doing this, okay? So you're not prepared. Go back home and get prepared, okay?
Yeah. yes.
So okay, I got one question, and then I'll make sure I get T's. Let me get T's question here first, so because I know she's like, Jimmy, make sure you ask me my questions. So Sisters T with the T asks, what do you plan to do for your future endeavors with your business? Like, what are your plans for your business in the future?
My plan is to bring love to the hearts of men and women, one at a time. But my plan is to expand. My plan is to continue to do what I'm doing right now, to be able to even continue to gain more knowledge and to be able to impact lives. And especially for singles, because I am an advocate for healthy marriages and healthy relationships. So I want to be able to impact lives and just teach people how the right steps to take in having the right partner for you, or finding the right partner and having a healthy, long-lasting relationship. That's my plan.
That sounds like the plan. That sounds like what it is, what it's going to be. Now this is my question. This isn't something that's like serious. Do Do you believe in Valentine's Day?
I believe in Valentine's Day, but I don't believe in just setting one day apart just to celebrate love.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying.
You should celebrate all day, every day.
Yeah, exactly. Every day, practically every day should be Valentine's Day.
I mean, you don't even have to be every day, but you can choose whatever day that you want to celebrate your significant other. It don't have to be their birthday. They don't have to be doing nothing, but you can just show them you appreciate them. Because that's what Valentine's Day is about. Right. Professing your love to someone, showing them how much you appreciate them, showing them how much you care and love them, telling them I love you. You're the one for me. You can do that any time of the year, any day. You can pick.
But why do people put so much emphasis? I mean, I know it's marketing. I know it's a marketing ploy. I understand that. But you've heard so many times people get so upset about not getting something on Valentine's Day or not, something not being done on Valentine's Day. Why do you think that's such an important aspect to people?
Because I think it's a communal thing. It's a societal thing. Society has placed so much emphasis on it that it has made that day so significant that if someone is not being celebrated on that day, they feel you could have celebrated me all year long, but if you forget Valentine's Day, that means you.
That it'd be hot. It'd be hot, boy. You ain't giving me no Valentine's Day gift. What? Like I just got you your birthday gift 2 weeks ago. What's wrong with you?
No. Well, it ain't my birthday 2 weeks today. I think it's just a societal thing. It's a communal thing, It's something that the whole community and the society is doing. So you gotta float with the boat.
Yeah, you do. You gotta float with the boat.
I think that's just it. Just because we've placed so much importance and significance on it, women feel like if you don't do it that day, then some women they fight their husband if you don't get them flowers or balloons or teddy bear or something. One Valentine's Day, I told my husband I did a big old teddy bear for what? Big teddy bear that I don't even use. I don't even know where that teddy bear is. That don't make no sense.
I'm sure you don't, but it was just for that day, for that time.
But just for that day, it makes sense that day. And after that day, but it's just us as women.
That's what I want to ask. Are you even gonna remember me doing this day? You gonna all the Valentine's days are gonna be mixed up into one, and if I don't get you one on this one, you're gonna forget about the other stuff I did for you on other Valentine's days. So it's like what's the point? What's the point now? But I understand. I do understand. That's kind of like that's just how women are in some women. Some women are.
Yeah, women can get we're very emotional people, and we're very sentimental too. So we're like sentiment. It's a sentimental moment.
So, listen, I'm glad you even said that because some women be acting like I'm not emotional. No, I'm not. I'm not like that. And you're like, no.
Everybody has an emotional side to them. You
yes,
just gotta
we all do.
We all do. You just have to be able to press the right buttons.
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
My husband would say, I come off as this tough, hard person. But deep down inside, you do something sentimental, I'll be over there crying and bawling. He's like, oh my gosh, you just act like you're tough, but you're not really that tough. Because you know how to press the right button. Either to make me mad or to make me happy. One of them.
I can dig it though. So listen, man, go ahead. I know you got one more question before we end. Go ahead, bro.
What's next? I mean, where do you see yourself a year from now?
A year from now, I pray and I hope, and I'm speaking this into existence, that I continue to grow, that I continue to enlarge my database, continue to match more people. But not only that I also continue to learn and, taking all the knowledge in so that I can use it to impact others. That's what I want to do. That's what's next for me. I know before the pandemic, I used to do like Instagram live sessions. And then during the pandemic, I had a baby. So I really want to get back into doing that again, just talking about all things relationship, love, and marriage, and life in general. So I really hope to get back to doing that, and just impacting people and just changing lives, and also through people's experiences and stories, so that my life can be changed as well.
That sounds like a podcast. Yes.
Not in the line of a podcast, because with podcast, everything in life, consistency is key. So, but I mean, you guys are doing an awesome job. Awesome job.
We appreciate it. We definitely appreciate it. Listen, you have entertained us enough tonight, and you have given us a lot of your information as far as your business, but also as far as your life. And that's really what we wanted to do, was really capture your business, but also capture what it is about you more even than your business. Because my philosophy on this one is, I have philosophies on everything, right? My philosophy on this one is, it's not always about the business. It's about who is behind the business. And people buy more into the person than they do the business often. And I feel like that translates enormously through everything you were saying. You have a lot of jewels. You were dropping some bars. You were giving us a lot of insight on things that definitely, I can take home and relate to. I think Ty as well, and I know T feels the same way. And Busola, I'm just ecstatic that you came on tonight and were able to share what you shared with us. And we were touched. I'm humbled by it. I really, really, really appreciate you for doing this tonight.
I am incredibly honored. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, no, you're awesome and dope. All those and everything up above. So thank the good Lord for coming. You could come on tonight. What I was going to ask you to do was actually make sure you plug your business, so everybody knows where to find you, and they can seek you out and get information and get on your database, all that good stuff.
Yes. So you can follow us on our website. Just go ahead and check us out on our website. It's www.thelovedynasty.com. On Instagram, it is _, and we're also on Facebook at The Love Dynasty. So please check us out. If you or somebody that you know is looking for love, please fill out our database, and somebody will reach out to you. We just want to bring love into your hearts and into your homes and build healthy marriages.
Healthy marriages.
That's what it's all about.
Healthy marriages.
Healthy relationships and marriages.
Healthy marriages make healthy families.
Yes.
That's what people need to know. Healthy marriages make healthy families. Well, family, tonight I've been extremely blessed with Sister Busola coming on tonight and sharing her story, sharing her business, the Love Dynasty matchmaking and dating service. Family, it is great. It is a great tool to have. She is definitely a resource if you are looking for love. Make sure you're ready for it, though. Please make sure you're ready for it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Make sure you're ready for it, because it's important to, shed whatever that you had previously when you go into something new. So just make sure that you are prepared for it. You're ready, wholeheartedly ready for it. I mean, so I can tell you, I ain't ready for nothing. Not one thing. I ain't ready for nothing. I'm going to sit over here and sulk. I'm just going to sulk.
At least you can be honest about it. So that's what's really important. You're being transparent and you're being honest.
Yeah, look, listen, I have to be honest, not just with you, with myself. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
You got to be honest about everything. Got to. But again, family, we greatly appreciate her coming on tonight. Appreciate her sharing her story. And just being able to share, because listen, sharing is not easy. A lot of people don't want to share. Some people are really afraid to do that. So the fact that you came on with us tonight and you shared your story, you talked to us about your husband and your relationship too. I mean, I think that was really important. Sometimes you get matchmakers who are not in relationships. They just, this is what they do. But I think life experiences, particularly everyday life experience, assist you in your business. Assist you with matchmaking. So greatly appreciate that. Anything you want to say to the family before we let you go?
I just want to say thank you guys so much for having me. It has been an honor. I really appreciate it. I have truly enjoyed myself. So again, just keep being transformed by renewing your mind.
Amen.
God bless you.
Definitely.
Stay blessed.
Stay blessed. Stay blessed. Well, family, that's going to wrap the show. We want to thank you for listening to Jimmy Bond's podcast on Illadelphia Radio. Remember, family, you can call us with your comments and questions at 844-844-1244. Again, that's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, it's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. It's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. And again, family, we are still in the COVID-19 pandemic. So please, please, please wear your mask. Wash your hands, practice social distancing. Even though you might be vaccinated, you might not be vaccinated with the booster or whatever. Just be cautious out there and make sure that you're thinking about others when you're going out, because family, you never know when you might not see that person again, particularly during these times. So tell your friends, tell your family that you love them, and always, always be open to learning more. I want to thank you for listening to Jimmy Bond's podcast on Illadelphia Radio. We out. Peace. Fam, that's going to wrap the show. We want to thank you for listening to Jimmy Bond's podcast on Illadelphia Radio. We ask you to leave your comments and questions at 844-844-1244. Again, that's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. That's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. Now remember, family, we are still in the COVID-19 pandemic, so please, please, please remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, and practice social distancing. Also, remember to take nothing for granted and value every opportunity you have with your friends, your family, and your loved ones. For in these times, every moment is sacred. So until the next episode, you can find me on Good Hope Road, screaming, stay up, don't sleep in your dreams. I'm Jimmy Bonds, and I'm out. Fight on, come on!